Hey everybody, switching it up. It's your guy, Daniel Nakaruzu Fortis, aka the Omega Jack, Neo Geo or Dieo, or just George Stanford Porter, GSP, whatever. Today I wanted to talk to you all about something really cool that's been on my mind about last week's Pokemon Direct, and I want to get your feedback on it. But first I want to present obviously some ideas to bring to the table. So one of the cool things that I thought was interesting about Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Pearl is that we're getting Super Contests again. There's a rhythm game that's going to be introduced for the Super Contests. I am not somebody who could easily identify some of the DLC or expansions within the Pokemon franchise, but people have already pointed out that there's already NPCs in like screenshots, videos, and you could see people have confirmed that these are people that aren't in the base versions of the games, so we're at least knowing that we're getting platinum content. How extensive, we don't know. I think it sucks. One of the most disappointing things I believe in Pokemon is that we always have to go one step forward, 4 steps back, and that usually means bad things are happening, but a lot of good things have happened with this remake in this generation, because it's actually looking more akin to a 2.0 version of Gold and Silver, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and those games were like smash hit successes. Like, they were one of the best selling remakes in the series, although I don't think they're the best selling games. I'm not completely familiar with the numbers, but that's not what I'm not worried about popularity, because Pokemon will always sell, but what I want to talk about is how much better things are looking now that we have a bunch of things that have happened and what that can mean for the future. So I was talking before about Heart Gold and Soul Silver. We're getting following Pokemon again. The Grand Under, which is like following Pokemon is like the base. Like, at this point with Game Freak, following Pokemon is a necessity, and the fact that it's not something that's consistent, that's not being consistent even right now, is something that's not good. But the fact that it's in these remakes is a good sign. It's a good thing. It means that in the remakes, it should be happening always going forward. The Grand Underground that's being introduced in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is awesome, because it's basically an extension for a Sinnoh region wild area, where these big open spaces open up and you can do a lot. You can see the Pokemon and you can catch them like they're in the wild area, like they're living in their habitats, which is obviously a plus on any front in terms of being able to capture more Pokemon. And one of the things that I think is a good connection, someone noticed that one of the Pokemon's, or a lot of the Pokemon's number systems, the way they were being collected, or the way they were being displayed in the trailer, was that they are using their national dex numbers, which is a good indication, meaning that there's quite a few Mons who are going to be in this title. Although there's no way to say if they're going to actually have like every single Pokemon. I personally doubt it. I don't think we need every single Pokemon. I think we could do with any single game with its base, I guess 200 to 300, and then adding another 200 to 300 as a national dex. That's where I would be sitting. So at this point, anything more would just be a bonus. So I'm not part of the national decks and the cut decks of Sword and Shield. Like, the only thing that bothers me is they were trying to say or sell the idea that wasn't that the factor that taking out Pokemon made it easier to add things in, but it still seems like there was a lot of things missing in Sword and Shield. But back to how Gen 4 remakes make Gen 5 look great, is that there's a lot of things that they could do because there's a lot of content in Gen 5. Pokemon Black and White 1 and Black and White 2 are basically, they were like a restart of the entire Pokemon franchise. Like, they are basically a next generation Red and, well, every single generation is another generation of Red and Blue, because what's the hot like what is gold and silver? Silver is a cold color, gold is a hot color. What is ruby and sapphire? Like obviously ruby, sapphire, like, and etc. But I think, I don't remember if super contests were a thing in... They weren't. I don't think contests were even a thing in Generation 5. But I do remember that there were those... That TV thing, and selling shops were a thing in Gen 5 with Pokemon Black and White 2. So maybe there's a way to integrate more, because we're always losing something, right? So it's just a matter of seeing what the trade-offs are. Because even right now with Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, is that they haven't shown us Megas, Z-moves, or Gigamaxing or Gigantamaxing. So, oh, and I think they've already confirmed that there's not going to be any ranked battles in this generation. So either that was something that they cut out that I forgot about in Gen 4, or they're not trying to mess with the current meta of Gen 8, which I understand, so that people can focus on training for Gen 8 tournaments and whatnot. Just weird because Gen 3 remakes didn't have their Battle Frontier. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Generation 2 Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they had all their stuff. And they added the Battle Tower into Fire Red and Leaf Green. So, I mean, it sucks because it would be fun to try and keep expanding stuff, because even with Legends Arceus, this isn't a Legends Arceus video because that would be a separate video, another video. But the fact that Hisui Pokemon, Ancient Sinnoh Pokemon exist, how they affect getting into Diamond and Pearl's remakes, will those carry over? Because depending upon where we're at when obviously Black and White's remakes happen, which I don't think is going to be that far away. It's probably not happening next year, but it's probably happening the year after. Because the whole point of them making it a standpoint of ILCA being the ones to take over for making remake games entirely is to free up space completely for the main team at Game Freak to focus on making more Legends games. So I assume that Legends probably is already doing well in the key demographic Q&A sessions of like people wanting to like give something else more to the experience of Pokemon, that they're willing to say, okay, we know that this might not sell that well, but it's not something that we should give up on too quickly, because it's obvious of what people expect or think of Pokemon and what we can do to incorporate that. Because one of the cool, like, but I digress. I don't want to get into Arceus here. Back to Gen 5. It has something different that no other gen has. It has direct sequels that has a complete, like, so technically speaking, it's like Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's Red and Blue, and then Heart, and then Gold and Silver again. But for one of the interesting things that they can do with a game like with Gen 5 remakes that ILCA can do, because after they've proven themselves capable of giving us a one-to-one, or I mean near one-to-one, and maybe even better version of Gen 4 remakes, maybe they can have more freedom to add things, like for example the cut fight that was supposedly supposed to happen between the Black and White 2 protagonists versus the previous protagonists. So I would like if they were to implement that, where your old team from the first half of the game, and then you do the post game and everything, and then you right off into the sunset, and then the second part of the game starts, and then you do everything in that, and then you can face yourself, and that would be a pretty impressive thing to do, where you can actually experience two great adventures and face your own team as like the ending, because that would be the only real way to like top Gold and Silver, because I don't know if Diamond and Shining Pearl are going to sell like well, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are sold more so now than they ever have been. So it's probably going to do well over this. And it's plus, of course, Pokemon. So it's going to do well. But it's like, how much better will Gen 5 remakes do as opposed to? Because of how much more wiggle room they have to add and spice things up. Because I don't think everything can go in. Because you have to make a choice between White Forest and Black City. And I think they're the same location but there's different things there in each location. So unless they change things, or even if they did change things, that would be amazing. Like if they could actually fit everything in there, and maybe or crazy thought, maybe a time machine or something where you can go back and forth through time, where something insane like the White Forest is there in the first half, so basic, and then the Black City is there in the future, where they built a city over White Forest. They could do something like that, like something very Majora's Mask, or something very like over a period of span of time, like Dark Cloud 2. Very, very cool concepts of where they could go with Gen 5 remakes. Excited to see. I would like them to come back to Megas, because I personally like Megas. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. I know not everyone wants it back, but I think it was a cool thing to like have in the games in the first place. Z moves probably could stay out of it though. I don't know if I could probably go either way with Gigamaxing or Gigantamaxing. It wouldn't bother me to have it, but I wouldn't die. I'm definitely living if we don't have it. Am I not living if Megas aren't? No, of course I'm living. It's fine. It's just a matter of like, it would be preferred to have that and do that, because that would be fun to actually have and do. Obviously, following Pokemon would probably be one of the, like, it would be weird if they were to do this game and that not be a thing. But can we do another version of the wild area? I don't know. That's what I'm interested in the most, about how much you can, what they can do with 2 games. Because it's not even just, it doesn't even stop here, because in Gen 6 X and Y there is no third version. So, and they never made one, even though it's heavily implied within the lexicon and the lore of the series that Z would have or should have existed. Zenigard is a really cool legendary Pokemon that had a movie and had like a big part in the anime, but was never like someone, nothing that, you can catch him in the games, but you can't, and you can get his maximum form, but he's not part of the story, which is interesting, because he's like supposed to be the guardian, he's the trio master between him and Yveltal and Xarnius. Can't believe I actually remember those legendaries. Wow, go me. Because I like that gen. I want Gen 6 to be good. I want Gen 5 remakes to be, I want Gen 4 remakes to be good, so that Gen 5 remakes are even better, so that Gen 6 remakes are amazing. Because if they prove themselves with Gen 4, they'll have more wiggle room to do more in Gen 5. And if that pays off, then there will be so much left up to them where they can just do a lot, and that's like every other year. So in the next 6 years, by the time all 3 of those are out, wow, a lot of time will pass, but we'll see. I think it's something to look forward to, and I think like adding contests to future games, adding pseudo wild areas where you can see the Pokemon and you can walk up to them and you can choose and you can create different effects. Maybe even you like get into a battle with the Pokemon with Pokemon in one generation, maybe generation 5, and do a terrain or weather effect, and then different Pokemon will appear, and like you just turn it off, or you have to have a cast. Like it doesn't matter how they do it. I'm just glad that Gen 4 is looking good, which means Gen 5 is probably going to be doing well, which means Gen 6 is going to be doing well, because I'm looking forward for its comeuppance, because everyone hated on Gen 6. So I'm hoping this remake is going to give it everything they've got. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Ilka can do. So if you enjoyed my ramblings, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really would help me out. You're doing fantastic. I know that things might be a little drab, but if this helped in some way, I'm glad it did. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.